Guys, welcome back to another episode of It's a Man's World podcast. I am back in the studio. I know the last couple of episodes have been either at home, and then since I'm back, we've been on a roll, but we are running a little bit behind today, but that's all right because you know me, we're working on time, and I'm obviously back in Miami, back up in Fort Lauderdale, and I was doing last week's episode for Valentines, whatever we want to call it, and I was just doing it, and I was like, you know what, I feel like I want to get back in front of the mic, get back into the studio and get recording some bits. So today I am going to bring you through an episode that I feel like will help a lot of girls, and I hope this isn't people thinking this is just to do with like people that are single. This is going to be for any woman that is going to be choosing this year themselves, number one, and number two, thinking about standards over having boundaries with people. And for so long, like especially in the last 2 years, I have really just decided like this is the standard that I live by, this is how I live, this is what I speak to my clients with, my women in the mentorship. And I just thought that this episode would just be all about like self-devotion rather than romantic validation. Okay, so let's really get straight in today with the nitty gritty of where I'm at, what I'm doing, and just about you, right? So pen to paper, take out your notes, like make sure when you're doing the podcast and you're listening to me right now, whether you're driving along, like what I always say, or whether you're listening at home, like take note of what I'm saying because you're gonna get juice out of this one, okay? Choosing yourself is not anti-love, it is pro-self. All right, choosing yourself is not anti-love, it's pro-self, and that is going to be the core message of today's episode. So when we look at Valentines and we look at the pressure and we think about January gone, and I feel like the energy at the minute coming to the end of the snake year is very, very chaotic. It's quite heavy. There's just like a lot of shedding the old and stepping into the new. If anyone is feeling it, if you're going through anything at the minute, you will notice and feel that energy, especially if you're very tapped in. And for me, it's so funny because when I recorded this podcast last week when I was in the apartment, I was like, maybe am I single this year? Am I not? Am I in a relationship? Like it's been obviously 4 years and all of you guys are here a long time following along with like the whole healing, and we've got past that, right? We're not bringing that into this year anymore. We're kind of bringing it back to just like a fresh, clean slate of where we're starting, all right? So I feel like when people think about choosing themselves, they think it's very selfish. Or when they think about this word standard, they think it could be like stuck up. They might think it's like cocky. It's a different type of energy. And I want you to just like take that completely out of your mind today, okay? Choosing yourself is the most healthiest, the most self-respect that you can have for yourself ever. And if you can choose yourself in life, in your health, in fitness, and how you show up every single day, you will choose that with a partner and with your job and the life that you're going to live. So let's get straight into how I kind of have navigated the last couple of years, especially because you guys are here a long time and you wonder about my love life a lot. Everyone always asks questions about it. Is there anything going on is the main question that comes through all the time. And I feel like the minute I put something up, everyone is like, goes through the roof. The answer is yeah. Am I happy? Am I taking things slow? Yeah. Am I still number one priority on the list? Absolutely. And could I have attracted anyone into my life realistically over the last, let's say, 2 years? Could I have really done that and been with someone when I wasn't fully healed? No. And I think it's like when you think you're healed and then you meet someone and it comes back up, and these wounds and things that you feel like you've gone through and you've worked through, they resurface, people, right? They resurface, they come back up and they show you exactly what you still have to do. And it's a scary process because you're kind of like, yeah, as an avoidant or anyone that is, you're kind of just like, I don't know if I'm ready for that right now. And you think, like, God, all the work that I've done, is this actually for me? So your first thing that I want you to write down and I want you to think about is your intuition. Your intuition will never lie. For so long, I did not listen to it, and I paid for the consequences. Like, I really did. Like, I used to always be like, I knew, like, my stomach told me something. Like, why did I not listen to my gut? And it's like, sometimes listening to my gut, I'm like, no, but my heart says something. My heart can be so strong, also so cold. I'm either all in on something or I'm either all out. You guys know that, right? So again, I go through this fighting battle with my head and my heart sometimes, and then the gut, and I'm like, oh God, which one is it? But this whole intuition, and when you hear someone speaking about it, women are often taught to override your intuition. You're told, don't listen to it, you might throw yourself off, in order to be agreeable, easy, and then you're just kind of accommodating anyone and everything else. But what do you want, right? And I always think, like, deep down in your intuition, you know, whether we're talking about a partner, business, life, whatever you want to do, like, your intuition is like, I really would love that, but I just don't know if it would be possible for me. And it's just because you're overriding and you're not listening to it, all right? And again, it's a scary place to be because it's the only thing that you have to trust, and no one else's opinion will matter. But intuition will never be dramatic, or it will never be loud. It will be a feeling. It's something that you feel. It's a deep feeling on the inside. And when a woman trusts herself, she becomes harder to manipulate. If you feel like you've been in relationships that had a lot of manipulation, and a lot easier to respect as well. And when you respect yourself, you won't question your worth. You won't question whether someone wants you or do they not. You won't really even have to sit down and have this hard conversation, because you know already this isn't going to go anywhere, because I know what I want, and I think the other person probably has different intentions. Or in the business or people that you're with, or your energy or your environment of who you're around, like, where are you taking it? What are you doing with it? It's super, super, super important that you do listen to it, okay? And again, I've learned the hard way. I'm sure anyone here that is here a while, you have probably also learned the hard way with your intuition too. So when we talk about standards over boundaries, this is like my new line of what I've been saying since the start of the year, even since December. And it's something that I will stick with this year. I used to always be like, it's a boundary. Don't let people cross the line. You probably heard me saying that a lot. And on a course that I was doing, it was just like, it's actually not a boundary. It's just a standard. It's a standard that you have for your life. It's a standard that you have for the way you want to live. It's like, boundaries are often very reactive as well. They are, they're rules that we put in place, and I don't really even like that, but they require an explanation. They require enforcement of what you need to tell someone. Like, you make sure you don't cross that line. It's like, well, if you have a standard, no one will cross it anyways, because it's like what you hold yourself to. And it's always like you're in defense all the time. Okay, so if you feel like that's you, and with those three things that I've mentioned, change it. Try and put a standard in place. And again, you have to step up to that level. You have to be at that standard in order to accept what you're accepting in your life. It's so, so important, okay? And that's with everything. And with standards, they're proactive. So they quietly determine who and what gets access to you. Right? Who and what gets access. And if you're letting everything and anything in, and you're wondering why everything is all over the place and why is your life like this, guys, there's a reason it's like that. It's because your standards are so low, but you expect so much. But like, how can you have an amazing life with these boundaries that you're putting in place when you don't even hold yourself to this standard? Think about it, right? It's just logic. But a woman with standards does not need to convince. She doesn't need to chase or correct behavior or try and change someone. You cannot fix anyone. I tried it for way too long in my life, and I thought it would mean that, like, I would be loved more for making this person better, because is that not a great thing to do? And being honest, I really wish I hadn't got that trait. But again, it has shown me a lot about myself, and it's just taught me a lot along the way as well. But standards will always, they will always protect your nervous system. They will always protect your energy and your self-respect. So again, it's just the standard that you have. You know what you want. Again, you won't let that back into your life, because it's exactly what you have every single day. And you move accordingly to what your life, your goals, and what you want to do and who you want to spend your time with, realistically, okay? Again, it's not a boundary. And with me, I feel like a lot of people, maybe a couple of years ago, if you've been here a long time, you will know that, like, I could have came across as very harsh, quite cold. A lot of my girls would probably say, Ciara, like, you are hardcore, like you know, like I was kind of scared of you. And I have a perfect balance now with that. Again, sometimes I'm working on it. Sometimes we go into a lot of masculine work, and then sometimes we go into a little bit more feminine, soft, maybe some breath work, but it will always be at the right time, and I will go off what I feel and what my intuition feels like it needs. And again, it's just being so aware of your feelings, of yourself, and knowing when to push and pull as well, especially in business. But having standards is not you're a bitch and you have a bitch face and you're this and you're that and you think you're better than anyone else. It's absolutely not that. It's just how you live your life every single day in everything that you do, even in the food that you eat, whether it's organic, whether it's shit, whether it's junk food, whether it's the water you have. Like, it's just a standard. And once you step up to that, you won't go backwards, you know. But peace becomes the byproduct, and I wrote this down and I had a start, but I said peace becomes the byproduct of the standards upheld, not the boundaries constantly explained. Listen to that again, because boundaries are something that we have to explain all the time. This is my boundary. No one cares what your boundary is. They've already crossed it, hence why you have to explain yourself, in comparison to having peace as the byproduct of the standards that you've had. Peace, peace, peace. Always. Like, if anyone wants to live a happy life, happy wife, it's like, well, the person in your life is there for a reason. You've attracted them in. So when we look at choosing yourself as this topic for the podcast and we listen to your intuition, I want to know right now, like, where are you not listening to your intuition? What's the whispers that's coming in your voice, in your head, that you're like, oh my God? And what is something right now that you could choose yourself a little bit more with? Like, are you in a relationship and are you really wanting to maybe put yourself first again? Maybe you lost yourself along the way. Maybe he's doing all these things and you're like, I could probably do something with myself. It's like, it's always like teamwork. Like, you grow, I grow. It's not like one person is better than the other. And I think that's really important, because for so long I was in competition with whoever I was with, and I don't like that. I never wanted that, but it was just in my nature and how I was. It was never about like, it was about love, of course, but in terms of like the competition, I felt like my worth was proved by what I do and who I am, and I've changed that. And the great thing about it is and I love it, is like, yes, people will always ask, like, what do you do? 100%. But like, if it's like the right person, they won't even go into a lot of depth on what I do, because that's normally how I would have introduced myself. And any women in business will feel that as well. It's quite hard to like introduce yourself without all of these things behind you. And right now, like, I introduce myself as the woman that I am. And then I will go into that maybe down the line when I get to know someone. But my guard is up a little bit. It's like, it's just like, I don't feel like I let people in for too much. I told everything, I spilled everything, and I'm like, I will always know when the time is right, because you will know if that person is going to be in your life for a long term or if they won't be. But with Valentine's Day coming up, for anyone that's single, I again wanted to make this episode pretty short, pretty sweet. Like, I'm obviously on a time crunch because I was late, by the way, which is something that I need to definitely get better on. So thank you to the guys here, because I left without my outfit and we would have been sitting in a pair of heels and a tracksuit. But anyways, I know you guys love short, sweet, you like punchy podcasts. You love when I have a guest in. I am looking at bringing a few more people in, but for the month of Feb, it's all about femininity. It's about your flow. It's about Valentines. If you don't have a partner and you're feeling the pressure and you're looking around, you're like, oh my God, like, ask yourself, like, what do you need from that person that makes you feel good? Because that's what I always bring it back to. I'm like, why would I need that so bad? Like, what's the big difference of the one day? It's like Christmas. You put this big crazy pressure around Christmas and it's not even real. It's like, for what? Like, why do we do that and spend all that money? Yeah, because we love people, but look what everything comes back to at the end of the day. Right? When we break it back down, what's the one thing that it comes back to? Everything. It comes back to love. Like, it literally just comes back to love. Like, love is the center of everything. Like, it's everything. And again, that's why when we feel it and we see other people with it, you can be a little bit envious. You can be a little bit like, I wish that was me. But like, your time will come. But if it's not, Like, spend it with your girls, do yourself up, feel good, put a cute outfit on. When was the last time you went out and enjoyed yourself as well? Like, I know January has already passed, and majority of the episodes that we had done in January were all about like personal development and working on yourself and your why and your story. And I always love to inspire you girls, and I like it to get your brain ticking and get ideas flowing and like move with what I'm saying. Don't just take note. And I always know the people that will listen, because they will say to me afterwards, Ciara, I was listening to that episode and that was exactly like what I needed to hear. And sometimes when you listen to these episodes, you might have to go back and listen again. But I want to leave you with something that really stuck with me, and it was something that I had talked about a lot. And I'm actually so glad as well that I came and I redone this episode, because when I had done it out at home, I kind of felt like I was just rushing it, and I didn't really even pinpoint what the whole episode was about. But when I redone out the brief and I wanted to kind of spice things up, I was like, I don't really like what the concept of that was. But there was one thing that I had down, and it was called the worthless wound. And the worthless wound is why you don't feel like you're enough. And that can be from your childhood, that can be from anything. And when someone doesn't choose you, or if someone didn't choose you on that day and they choose someone else, or you're not with them, like, it's normally coming back down to like you feeling like it was you're the problem, and it's never ever ever the way, you know. So if you are feeling like that, girl, you're not alone. You're at a breaking point. There's always like the next level and something that will be coming through, something that you can work on, and always think of it as like growth. Like, this is something that's like, this is like a magical start for me, and that's how I feel right now. But I'm going to leave you with something really, really meaningful to me, and just something that I know will definitely help you girls a lot. And I wrote this down. Again, I took a screenshot and I wrote down, choosing yourself does not mean you will never love others. A lot of people think when they choose other people that, or when they choose themselves, they're selfish, and like they put everyone else, like most people put everyone else before themselves. But it means you will never disappear inside of them. And when you're living in a place like Florida, or in America in general, a lot of you girls are in Dubai, wherever you are, there's so much online about who has the most what, and who has the biggest bum and the biggest boobs and everything, whatever you want to say, who drives the nicest car. Those things are all amazing, but deep down, is the person a good person? Do you feel safe? Do you feel good around these people? And if the answer is yeah, absolutely. But if you're getting ever caught in self-comparison and looking at other people, like the episode or the call that I done with my girls on Tuesday about self-worth, image, and stop looking at the number on the scale and being obsessed over it, their mindset flipped. You're more than your shell on the outside, okay? You are more than that. You're not just what your body looks like or what you weigh, and who even cares what you weigh, by the way. If you are that person, you're wondering what anyone else cares. No one cares what you weigh, by the way. No one cares. Okay? So choosing yourself does not mean you will never love others. It means you will never disappear inside them. And this Valentine's Day is not about who is beside you. It is about who you are loyal to. Again, if you're thinking about someone right now, amazing, but are you loyal to yourself? Could you level up your own standards? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to eat better foods? Do you want to fuel your body better? Do you want to train harder? Do you want to connect with yourself more and get to know yourself? Well, that takes a lot of shedding. That takes a lot of stepping into the new. And the horse year is coming. It is literally in, I think, like 10 days or less. Step into the year, go full steam ahead. If the start of the year wasn't for you and you're feeling a little bit flat and you're wondering as well at this time or whatever age you are, should my life be in this place or should I be doing those things, you're right where you need to be. And if you're not, move yourself and make change and evolve and grow. But from me to you, as always, I love doing these episodes. Again, I know we were a little bit tight with time today, but I just want to say a massive thank you for all the love so far in January with the podcast. I know you girls love when we come back and we do the set and I'm in my heels and my dress, so I appreciate you all so much. Whatever you're doing this Valentine's, I hope you have an amazing time. I hope you choose yourself every single day this year. Just try 1% better. That's all you need to do. Just tiny little things on how you speak to yourself, because if you can't love yourself, don't expect your partner to love you as much as what you think he does. Don't expect anyone else to do it for you. It's an internal thing. So for once, forget about what's going on the outside and operate from a higher frequency on the inside. So from me to you, have a beautiful Valentine's, Galentine's, whatever you're doing. And I will see you on next week's episode of It's a Man's World. Bye.